Good evening. I'm Tim Burt, and welcome to another edition of Stop Wasting Money with Ineffective Advertising. I'm Tim Burt from timburtmedia.com, and initially I was thinking about this the other day. I was initially going to call this webisode or this webinar, "Your Commercials Suck and How to Fix Them." Maybe I should have. I don't know. Anyway, either way, the message is still the same. Tonight, kind of a two-part, first of a two-part series on slogans and how a slogan can make or break your commercial. And when I say make or break, I don't necessarily mean it's going to ruin it, but it could have a big damper effect if everything is great and all of a sudden you have some really inane kind of slogan that you just absolutely are being insistent to include in the commercial from the client. Or if you're the business owner and you say, well, we have to include our slogan, we've been saying it for 30 years or whatever the case may be. That is just not good. That's just not the way to do it. So when we talk about slogans, really there are four types of slogans, and I'm going to cover a couple of these tonight, and the next episode I will cover the other two. But the acronym that I use is WIDE, W-I-D-E. And the W is my favorite, so I'm going to save that one for last. Unfortunately, I really can't take those letters, W-I-D-E, and make them into another word, at least not an English word. Not one that I know of, anyway. So when we talk about slogans, I want you to think about some of the best slogans that you can remember. Some of the ones that you've heard over the years that really stuck in your head, and think about why they stuck. There's some, depending on your age, and I'm going to really give away my age when I start talking about some of these slogans here. One of the ones that pops into my head that I always remember is Plop Plop Fizz Fizz, the old Alka-Seltzer commercial. And that is really a combination of two of the letters that are in the acronym of WIDE as the four types of slogans. And so let's just start with that one. That one is in the D. D stands for descriptive. So when you talk about Plop Plop Fizz Fizz, it's describing what the product does. And when you talk about describing, that an offshoot of that could be the experience, and that the E for experience, that is not the E. So don't write experience down for E. Don't do that. Hate to wag my finger at you, but that is not the E. The D is for descriptive. So when you think, it describes what the product, good, or service is or will do. It describes how you're going to feel, how it works, how it will achieve the desired or intended or implied result. So when you talk about Plop Plop Fizz Fizz, it's describing, Snap Crackle Pop from Rice Krispies. Another great example. Because what do Rice Krispies do when you pour them in a bowl and you put the milk? Snap Crackle Pop. So that is the D, the descriptive. And the I, the D, and the E are all the positive. The W is the one that is bad when we talk about the four types of slogans. So I is, or we talked about D. D is descriptive. Now, I, and this one is pretty narrow, but it's still valid. And I'm going to give you a great example of what the I is. I is for instructional, telling you how to use the product. Now, there really aren't a lot of products that use this technique or that angle in their slogan, but the best one that I can remember, and the best one that I know it works because people have complained about it. They've literally complained about this commercial on various blogs, various websites, things like that. When you talk to people, that product is Head On, and that is the headache remedy where it's a little tube, right? And you rub it, and Head On. What does their commercial say? Head On, apply directly to the forehead. What else do you need to say? That is a great slogan. It's instructional. It tells you what to do. Now, some could argue, and some will argue, that it doesn't describe really what it does. It's telling you how to use it, but it's not telling you what it does. Well, Head On, apply it directly to the forehead, and I believe on the box it says for headache relief, something like that, migraine, relieve migraine pain, or something along those lines. So when you talk about instructional, that is the best example I can think of because, well, one, it's so simple. Two, it tells you exactly what to do. It's not like you have to get, you buy a thing of Head On. Gee, what do I do with this? Now, they only say it about 9 times in their commercial. Head On, apply directly to the forehead. Head On, apply directly to the forehead. So D is for descriptive. I is for instructional. We will cover the E, the W, and the E next week. But think about it when you get a chance, when you hear or you see, you read, or you watch on TV, and you see a business and they come up with a slogan. We talked about, I think last a couple weeks ago, we talked about slogans for all your blank needs, things like that. Well, that falls into the W category, and I'm going to let you guess as to what the W stands for. But I and D, those are two very powerful. When used correctly, keep hitting the mic. When used correctly and properly, they can be very, very, very powerful. And I've always viewed slogans as the commercial within the commercial, because if you're talking, the business name, ABC Widget Company, and then the slogan is there to reinforce what the name and the business and what they do and what their product, good, or service is. So the slogan really should be treated as the commercial within the commercial. If the first line of the commercial is the commercial for the commercial, the slogan is the commercial within the commercial. It's a great reinforcement. So when you start looking and you start listening to advertisements from that angle, how do they use their slogan? Does it reinforce what they do? Does it, is it that thing that puts you over the top? If you're deciding whether or not to use this product, service, business, is it the thing that will push you over the cliff and say, all right, I'm going to check this out? Usually that's what that's the power of a good slogan. That's what a good slogan can do. Unfortunately, a lot of them really miss the mark because they think, oh, this is a chance to get cute. No, it's not. This is a chance for you because you've bought the time. If you're the advertiser, you've bought the time. Don't you think you owe it to yourself to at least reinforce exactly what the hell it is you do? I would. You can't afford to waste time in a commercial. You only have a set number of seconds. So you should be trying to maximize every single one of them. And a good slogan, especially, a lot of people put them at the end. That seems to be the most logical place to put them. But that's where a lot of people really miss the mark when they try to get cute or something totally inane. Something innocuous that just doesn't reinforce the business, the message, the product, the good, the service. So again, recapping: I, instructional; D, descriptive. And remember, we're working off an acronym of WIDE, WIDE. And I'm going to give you the W and the E next week, but the I and the D, instructional and descriptive. And I hope this helps. And if you are in charge of writing commercials, well, hopefully this is going to help you refocus and kind of take a step back and maybe rethink your strategy if you are trying to write a slogan. So I'm Tim Burt from timburtmedia.com. I thank you for watching, and I will see you again next Tuesday night. You can find me on Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Google Plus, and gosh, where else? Facebook. Yeah, Facebook. Tim Burt Media. TIMBURT Media. And also timburtmedia.com. And if you would like to email me a question that I will answer next week, timburtmedia@gmail.com. timburtmedia@gmail.com. I thank you so much for watching. Have a great night, and I will see you next Tuesday night.